Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, and today is the Saturday check-in. It is June 8th, 2024, and thanks for hanging with me. If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to podcast.hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the podcast that is updated every Thursday. And then head on over to hellocupcakeitsme.com to go give the blog some love. Make sure you follow me on all the social medias. And then also head on over to check out my upcoming book, Carpe Diem Scroto, 365 Daily Affirmations. And you will find that at www.cdsthebook.com. I am so freaking glad that it is the weekend. Not that it really changes anything that I do from day to day, except for I don't go into have lunch with my sister or anything like that. But it's kind of nice having the weekend or whatever. But, yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that has happened this week. I always talk about the analogy of people as trees. And, if you are new to my content or whatever, you might not know this analogy or whatever, but, I like to think of people like trees. And, a tree can have 1,000,000 leaves all over it. And those are the people that come into your life that teach you a lesson and that learn a lesson from you. And then with the changing of the seasons, they go. A tree can have hundreds of strong looking branches. And the moment that you step out on one of them, they break and you end up falling. But the biggest tree with the mightiest branches and the most leaves in the entire forest could only be supported by 5 or 6 roots. And roots are the people who are there for you and support you and never need to be asked to be there or to support you. They're the ones that are your private cheerleaders and your public cheerleaders. They're the ones that you can bare your soul to, and they still love you, respect you, and are there for you and only want the best for you and have no ulterior motives. Where we fuck up is trying to make a leaf or a branch a root. And in doing so, we end up hurting ourselves because we're assigning properties to leaves and branches. Roots don't ever have to be asked to be roots. They're always just going to be roots. And they can be roots for many, many other trees, but they don't have to be asked. They're always just going to be roots. Roots are worth more than all of the money in the world. And so this week, I got to see who my roots were. And one of the people who kind of stepped out of the shadows and showed that they were a root was someone I never expected. And that was really awe-inspiring to me. The fact that this person just kind of here I am, let's do this. Not even a hesitation in their voice. No second thought, no double takes, no questioning. They were just there. And it was a seriously emotional day for me that day when these roots showed up. And there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I haven't really talked to y'all about that is really scary for me. And when things are a little bit more concrete and I'm not so emotional and burdened with what if, I will definitely let you all in on it. But for right now, just know that there's a lot of shit going on, and I'm trying to get through it, and thankfully I have an amazing support group that is helping me out. And I've also been supporting other people. So, it's not just transactional, like you help me, so therefore I'm going to help you, or I've helped you, so therefore I expect you to help me. Like, that's not how I work. I do things without expectation. I've had people offer me the earth and hand me a cup full of dirt. Like, technically, they gave me the earth, but not in the sense that was originally promised. And so, knowing how that feels, I try to never offer more than I know that I'm going to be able to give. And so, I usually fuck around and hurt my own feelings by expecting that same level of commitment and that same level of loyalty from other people. And so that's, I'm good at doling out advice, but taking my own, no, it doesn't happen all that often. Like, the whole making a leaf or a branch a root, like, that's been something that has been very difficult for me to overcome in the last probably 3 years, is learning what I can put on who. And you have those friends that you can call and say, hey, can you take me to the airport tomorrow at like 2 a.m? And they'd be like, sure, bet. I'll be at your house 1:30. Let's go. And then there's those other people in your life that all they can do is offer you a hug. And even then, that hug is like conditional based on like what they're able to, like their times or whatever. I'm getting way too metaphorical for this, but hopefully you understand what I mean. So that's been very difficult for me, because I'm that person, or I try to be that person anyways, that will shoulder your burdens while pushing my own needs to the side, so much so that your shit is my shit and my shit is my shit. Like, and me and a really good friend of mine, we have that saying with each other, is your shit is my shit is your shit. And even with that, there's times when I know that, okay, this person doesn't have all the bandwidth needed to deal with my shit. So when asked, I will just burp the container a little bit, like, here's a little bit. So, does that make them a bad person? Does that make them any less of a friend? Absolutely not, because they have their own life, they have their own family, they have their own shit going on. So, I just try to make myself available to them, and as they are able to process what's going on with them, then it becomes kind of transactional, and they're like, okay, well, enough about me now, how about you? What's going on with you? And in the word transactional, I don't mean that it's like tit for tat or anything like that. It's just more like conversation between friends, you know? So that's been difficult for me. The other thing that's been difficult for me is quote unquote gatekeeping. I fucking hate that term. Like, with a passion, I hate that term. Because it's not, I'm not even going to get into it. Anyways, I have had to learn what to tell people and what not to tell people. One of my things, one of my love languages, whatever you want to call it, is I'm a fixer. You tell me a problem, I'm going to try to fucking fix it for you. And this has bitten me in the ass more times than I care to admit to. If you follow any kind of astrology or anything like that, I'm a Pisces on the cusp of Aries. So I'm an emotional warpath and an empath and all this other stuff and whatever new age terminology you want to attach to it. So I'm pretty good with reading people's energy and emotions, but I'm not always good at lightly stepping when it comes to people's emotions. Like, I'm usually that asshole who will tell it how it is, right, wrong, or indifferent. Like, no, bitch, you're the problem in this right now. And that's gotten me into some trouble, especially with some of my friends in the past, or people who I've considered friends, because, you know, I hold mirrors up to people and I don't have a filter 9 times out of 10. And I don't know if that is because of my mental health, me being bipolar, or whatever else. But there was a very specific point in my life where that snapped, and I just went into this fuck you, fuck it mode where I didn't give a damn. And that was 10th grade American history class. 10th grade American history. My whole life I've been bullied, and up until that point, I would never, like, look up. I always looked at the ground as I was walking. I'm hyper aware of everything that's going on around me, even if I'm in a conversation with somebody or like 4 or 5 people. I'm listening to 5 people standing over in one area of the bar. Like, I'll use this as an example. When I'm at the bar, I'm listening to all my friends. I'm listening to the conversations behind me. I'm listening to the conversations at the other end of the bar. I'm listening to the conversations that no one thinks that can be heard because they're sitting so close to the jukebox and the music is playing or whatever. And I'm hyper aware of, like, kind of what the kitchen staff is doing, even though it's in a different part of the building. I kind of have an idea where the cook is. And anytime that somebody walks into the bar, I can usually feel it before I see it. Like, if somebody new pulls into the parking lot, I'm just like, oh, that feels like so-and-so is here. And everyone's looking at me like, what? And then that person walks through. They're like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. But I think it's a defense mechanism. So, anyways, I really don't know where I was going with that, but yeah. So, long story short, there's a lot of shit going on, and some pretty exciting news, but I don't have the okay to really talk about it as of right now. But yeah, moving along, last night I went to my very first baseball game since COVID happened. And I like to think of myself as kind of like an amateur photographer. And I love taking pictures. It's one of my favorite hobbies and pastimes, and like something that I actually went to school to learn. And passed my digital photography class, passed like all of the composition classes and stuff that went along with it. Like, we're talking early 2000s. So when the technology was new and still being developed, like, and Photoshop was in like Photoshop 1.0 and stuff, like, you know, hardcore turn of the century, like, technology, and film cameras were in the process of being starting to fade out a little bit as digital cameras became more and more accessible to everyday people. Like, when I worked at Walmart in 2004, yeah, when I was working at Walmart in 2004, I worked in the photo department developing film and having to go through all the processes of taking it out of the canister and putting it into the solution and developing it, and like using darkroom skills and stuff like that to develop these pictures. So, all of that to say that I went to the baseball game last night, enjoyed myself, got to see some people I haven't seen in like a couple of years, since like before COVID, or like right around COVID anyways. And my photography skills are a little bit rusty, but I think that was also because I had messed around with the settings and I didn't have my ISO in the right like order. At one point, my ISO was only at like 300, and instead of being set at automatic or even a higher ISO. And what ISO does is it like helps with the shutter speed and like capturing the image and stuff like that. And for whatever reason, my even though I had the battery charging all freaking night long, the camera started dying, and as the batteries were starting to die, it was really fucking with a lot of the exposures and things that I thought I took pictures of I didn't catch on film. And because chain link fence is all around the home plate and whatever else, and that's where the bleachers are, there's times where I thought I was focused in on the pitcher or the batter or whatever else, and it took a picture of the damn chain link fence. I wish we could have something like transparent aluminum or like some kind of transparency, something that might even be thinner but is just as strong and as durable and cost effective as chain link fence. But I by no means have any kind of professional camera. My main like intro to DSLR camera is a Fuji FinePix S, and it shoots at 16 or 18 megabytes or megapixels, and then I have 3 little handheld cameras, like little point and shoot cameras. And I have 2 Canon, one is a ELPH, and then the other one I think might be an ELPH too, just like a different version. And then I have a Nikon. And, you know, all these cameras I picked up at a thrift store for like less than $5 each. and then I just go on Amazon or eBay and get additional batteries or whatever it is that I need for that. So I think like each one of my cameras cost me maybe $10 each after it was all said and done. But nothing with like a changeable lens or telescopic lens or anything like that. It's just stock camera equipment, and the titans of their industry at the time, but now by today's measures, like kind of antique, obsolete. But anyways, I got to take some pictures, and there was this one picture out of the 312 that I took that I absolutely fell in love with the way this woman photographed. And I played around with the composition of it and changing things around and stuff, and ended up like this. Even though I don't know this woman, I would have this printed out and framed and put on my wall, just because I loved everything about it. And I did probably 95% of the photo shoot in black and white. Black and white is my favorite because especially in candid shots, it pulls out so much more emotion than color. I either do black and white or vivid color, and then I'll play around with it later on in Photoshop or whatever photo editing tool that I'm going to use. So got to do that last night, and that was a lot of fun. And I think I remember my friend saying that there was another game this or tomorrow, so I might try to go hit that up. I'm not sure. And then also tomorrow, well, yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to do that because I gotta go do grocery shopping. So I don't know. But I do know that there is going to be like another game next Thursday, so I'm definitely going to show up to those, and I take pictures and all that other stuff, and then I upload it to Facebook, and then I tag the players in it, and then they go from there, and it's just fun, and it costs me nothing. Like the only thing it costs me is some gas to get to wherever. But if it's a team that one of my friends are playing, I'll usually be like, hey, let me ride with you. Just to kind of save me a little bit of money or what have you. Because even though gas has gone down a little bit here in my area, it's still not down far enough for me to just take random trips. So anyways, guys, I am going to go ahead and let you go, but if you have any questions, comments, concerns, put them in the comment section down below. Follow me on all the social medias, like and subscribe. Check out the book, cdsthebook.com, and until next time, I will talk to you all later. Bye.